A rectangle is 3 meters longer than it is wide. If the width is doubled and the length is decreased by 4 meters, then the area is left unchanged. Find the original dimensions. Well, from our first sentence, a rectangle is 3 meters longer than it is wide. We're going to try and set up a relationship between the length and the width. And I'd like to say that they're equal, but I know that they're not. The rectangle is 3 meters longer, so the length is actually longer than the width. So if I add 3 to the width, then they'll be equal. That's our first sentence. That's our first equation. We're done. In the second sentence, if the width is doubled, well, that would be 2w, and the length is decreased by 4, that's L minus 4, then the area is left unchanged. Well, wait a minute. How do you find area? For a rectangle, it's the width times the length is equal to area. And our first rectangle that we were talking about, we could also take the length times the width and have the area. So what they're saying is the areas are unchanged, which means that L times W is equal to 2W times L minus 4. Now there's one more bit of information we can use to try and solve this problem, and that is that we know what the length is. So everywhere there's an L in the problem, we can replace that L with the information about width. So we'll have W plus 3 times W is equal to 2W times W plus 3 minus 4. Cleaning up our parentheses, we get W squared plus 3W is equal to 2W squared, and 3 minus 4 is negative 1, times 2W. And now we can get all our w's on one side of the equation. So if we add a negative w squared and a negative 3w to both sides, we'll have 0 equals w squared minus 5w. Now we can take this equation, 0 equals w squared minus 5w, and try and solve it. My favorite is always factoring, so I'll try that first. Oh, it factors so nicely since we had a common factor in both terms. In which case the width is 0. Well, that wouldn't make much of a rectangle. Or the width minus 5 is equal to 0, and the width would be 5, which would make the length 5 plus 3. So the length is 8. And so our original dimensions are 5 meters by 8 meters. Let's check that out. Let's make sure that what we're saying is correct. 5 times 8 is 40. 2 times 5 is 10. And 8 minus 4 is 4. And 10 times 4 is 40. So yes, the areas are unchanged if we make those changes.